Hello, Daily Drafters. Today is Friday, April the 1st, and thanks for joining me for today's Daily Draft. As we hop into this draft here, we will start as we always do by thanking each and every one of you subscribers for choosing to spend a part of your day here with me today. And for those of you that are not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that red subscribe button attached to or underneath this video. It's absolutely free, never cost you a dime, and you'll then have access to the most consistent MTG Limited content on YouTube. We have a doozy of a pack one, pick one here. There's Spirit's Sister's Call, which is not a card I've played with, but it's been fun on the opposing side of the battlefield. I don't know if I want to try to build it around it here when I see a card as good as Kappatek Wrecker, because I do love this card, and it's very, very good. There's also Tamiyo's Completion, Network Disruptor, Okiba Reckoner Raid, Kami of Terrible Secrets. There's a ton of great cards in this pack. And I'm wondering if we should go down the Spirit Sisters Call route. Let's see. I'm just going to do Kappatek Wrecker. If you are a Spirit Sisters Call fan, I would not at all fault you for going with Spirit Sisters Call here, but Kappatek Wrecker is basically the highest performing uncommon in the set here. It's a great card, and I love to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. Man, the hits keep coming, don't they? We got Ninja's Kunai, Modern Age, Suit Up, Goshin Tai, Dockside Chef, Patchwork Automaton. I mean, we got a lot of really, really good cards here. And I think because there's no green follow-up, we have to branch out unless we're taking Kunai, which I don't think we want to. So it's between the Black Shrine. I do like a Dockside Chef. I like green-black. The Modern Age, I like green-blue a little bit less, but it's still pretty good. So it's a matter of do we want to go black or blue, and I think black is a little bit deeper of a color. I'm going to go ahead and take Goshin Tai of Hidden Cruelty here, because taking a shrine this early can also open up the possibility to finding the green shrine or splashing the white shrine or something like that as well. Or this could even be a splash. So we'll go ahead and take the black shrine here and get past a third pick. Behold the Unspeakable. Thank you very much. Let me thank you by name, Mess M and Slime Moss. Shout out to Mess M and Slime Moss for passing us a third pick. Behold the Unspeakable. Yeah, not much competes with it here, so we're taking that. And a Satoru Umezawa, the Red Shrine, Spirited Companion, Era of Enlightenment. I mean, these packs just keep on coming. So Spirited Companion would require us to branch out into a third color. We could think about being blue-black with Goshin Tai and Behold with Satoru as well. Ancient Wars is not one of the better ones to be splashing. So I don't think I want to take that this early. There's a Spirited Companion, which leads us into yet another color. So I think I'm going to take Satoru Umezawa here, and I don't know, maybe we splash black, or who knows. We've got some options here. But we have 4 very powerful cards to start off this draft. And finally, things calm down. Wah wah. So now we've got Cyber Trespassers, Guardians of Abora, Walking Skyscraper, Unforgiving One. I don't know which card has the highest likelihood of making our deck here. I think it's... I don't even know. I guess I'll take the Skyscraper, but you need a lot of modifications to make that work. I do like a Guardians in like a late game value kind of control deck. But I don't know. I'm just going to take the Skyscraper here. Don't know if we'll play it. I mean, I doubt we do, but who knows. Best card in this pack by a lot is Moonsnare Specialist. So I think that's what we're just going to take here. I mean, I'm not even sure how many of these other cards I'd prefer to put into a deck. Mechanic, maybe. Blade Blesser's fine-ish. But we'll go ahead and take Moonsnare Specialist here. Then we see Master's Rebuke, Sunblade Samurai, Armguard Familiar, and Kami of Terrible Secrets. I think a Kami is pretty good. We're getting pretty hard cut out of green. I mean, you could make an argument that Master's Rebuke pick 7 is a pretty good signal, and I think it might be. But this is about the only green card we've seen that's playable after taking Kappatek Wrecker. So I'm going to hedge my bets and go down the black route a little bit more and take the Kami here. Shrine Steward is great in blue-black because it can find both Twisted Embrace and Tamiyo's Completion. So I think I'm going to take the Shrine Steward here and see if anything wheeled. Kami of Terrible Secrets did wheel out of our doozy of a pack 1. So we're happy to see that here. And so far we've got 2 artifacts, 2 enchantments, and just kind of some things to do about that. Double Kami. We can make it work. You hate to get pushed off of green as early as we did, but that seems to be a theme of the format nowadays. Everyone wants to draft green, so probably should have taken one of the other cards to kind of hedge our bets a little bit, but I do like Kappa-Tech Record. All right, suit up. We can go Decoy as another artifact, and I think I will over just a random Infiltrator. With double Kami already, we want cheap artifacts like this. I don't even know if Kappa-Tech Wrecker is worth a splash. It's a great card, but I mean, what are we returning in this style of deck? Yeah, we'll just cut the black card here. Haven't been a big fan of Shadow Walker, except in the most aggressive versions of blue-black. So we're leaning a little bit more controlling with this blue-black deck here, but I mean, there's still plenty of cheaper cards we can fill out this deck with. But double Kami, Behold, Shrine Steward, Satoru. I mean, there's lots of things going on here with this blue-black deck that can really compete early and late, I think. Oh man. Another Kappa-Tech Wrecker. Is there a world where we're supposed to take that and go down something? I don't think so. We're just so hard cut out of green. There's an Evoke Despair here, and I think I'm going to try to do that and lean pretty hard black. I mean, the only blue card here is Armed Guard Familiar. So I think I'm actually going to take the Invoke Despair and see if we can make that work with our mana base. Going to default to the black card when possible now. Blue-black lands will go very high up into our pick order. Would have loved to find a deck where we could fit in 2 Kappa-Tech Wreckers, but again, I think we're very late in the format here. Everyone knows green is one of the deepest colors, especially at uncommon and rare, and if they find those uncommons and rares, usually they try to hold on for dear life. And that's not something I'm necessarily willing to do for 1 or even 2 Kappa-Tech Wreckers when we have this good of a blue-black start as well, so don't think the Wrecker's going to make the cut unless we find ample amounts of fixing where we could basically play it for free. Let's see here. We've got Moon Snare Specialist, Leech Gauntlet, Shrine Steward, Patchwork Automaton. Automaton's not great for us. Specialist is pretty good, but with double Kami, I think we want to take one of these artifacts, and I'll go ahead and take the early 2-drop with Leech Gauntlet. Would love to wheel Specialist or maybe a Shrine Steward. Even Samurai would be good if we could find a white splash we want to splash, like maybe the White Shrine or something. But we're going to take the 2-drop in Leech Gauntlet here. It's another artifact. It's cheap. It can trade. It's got lifelink. Kind of has everything we want it to. Okay, so now we have Armguard Familiar, Nezumi Blade Blesser, Shrine Steward, and a off-color dual land, Short Circuit to a lesser extent. I think I'm going to take the Familiar here again as a 2-drop artifact. Can trade, counts for artifact, count for Kami. I don't think we need to take the Blade Blesser over it, even though I said I want to lean more black. But we'll go ahead and just take the Familiar here. Now we basically have Undercity Scrounger, which is a card I'm fine with. A lot of people don't really like this card, but I do think it in a deck like this, it adds a lot of value, gives you treasures, blocks very well, helps you get to cards like Behold and Invoke, counts as an artifact for Kami. I mean, I think it's totally fine to play a copy of it or so, and if we can find a Dockside Chef, then it goes up in value as well. And we seem to be getting a little bit cut here, unfortunately, but I think we're pretty deep down the blue-black route that we can't really move off of it. So it's between Reckoner's Bargain, which I don't think is a card we want. Short Circuit, same thing. Brute Suit's much more aggressive, so I guess we're taking an Iron Apprentice. Adds to our artifact count at the very least, but I probably prefer not to play that card if we can get away with it. And now here are some options. So we've got Gravelighter, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the pick here. 3-mana 2/2 flyer that could draw a card or just make people sacrifice things is very good. So we're just going to go ahead and take the Gravelighter here. Need to lower our curve a little bit. Would like to see a couple of Okiba Reckoner raids and things like that. But we're not going to see them this late. Moonfolk Puzzle Maker, Guardians of Oboro. It's probably between these two, and because this is an artifact, I'm going to lean towards this one. We need to up our enchantment count a lot for these Kami of Terrible Secrets, so we've got to be on the lookout for some enchantments here. There is actually a Sunblade Samurai, and it's pick 7, and if we can get 2 of these, then that's basically a splash in itself to splash both of them. So I'm actually going to take the Samurai over a random 1/3 artifact or 1/4 artifact here for that reason, because it can kind of splash itself. Web Spinner Cuff, Master's Rebuke, Kaido's Pursuit, Malicious Malfunction. I think we'll just take the Kaido's Pursuit, but probably not look to main deck it. Definitely need more art or enchantments here. Okiba Reckoner raids. We're going to go up very high into our pick order. Good, so a lot of blue-black did come back with this. Now, there's a Clawing Torment, which is an enchantment, but not one I'm super high on. There's also Mukotai Ambusher, which is a good artifact, lifelinker, and Armguard Familiar. I think because of double Kami, I'm going to take the Clawing Torment here and not really like it, to be honest. Another Shrine Steward is probably the only thing we'll play. I mean, do we want a rare draft here? I There's a chance we could play 2, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the Shrine Steward. Would love some Twisted Embraces and Okiba Reckoner Raids. That's basically what's going to fill out this deck if we can find them. Definitely not playing 3. Yeah, if we can find Twisted Embrace and Okiba Reckoner Raids, that's what's going to fill out this deck for us. So we'll take those over most things here in pack 3. None of these matter. And let's see what we open. Okay, so we have the Modern Age versus Jin Gitaxias and Ecologist Terrarium. I think it's the Modern Age here. Obviously, Jin Gitaxias seems like a very, very powerful card. 7 mana 5/5 that's hard to remove, and that is powerful. But it's going to lower the consistency of our deck, right? We've got double Kami, and right now, if we don't up our enchantment count quickly, this is a card we do not want to play at all. So we take a very good, cheap Modern Age, one of the better blue commons here, that is an enchantment, and that's going to help us so much. I don't think we can take Jin Gitaxias in that spot. Now we're going to take Tamiyo's Completion as another enchantment, as another target for Shrine Steward, and definitely take that. And if we wheel Armguard Familiar, that would be great. But definitely taking Tamiyo's Completion. Now we have Silver Fur Master, Sunblade Samurai, Specialist, Kami. Our enchantment count is up to 6. So that's pretty good. We're going to have to keep most of them in the deck. Except maybe Sunblade Samurai. But we do have a couple of them coming around. So we could take Kami here. We could just default to another Specialist. I don't think it's going to be Silver Fur Master. I mean, ninjas, we have 2 ninjas and 1 rogue. So we don't really get the +1/+1 ability. We have a little bit of ninjutsu, but not a lot. So I think I'm going to take the Kami here and try to still up that enchantment count a little bit more if we can. Tranquil Cove for a white splash to splash these samurais. Sky Swimmer Koi as well. Thirst for Knowledge. I think I'm going to take the Cove and hope that I can get another samurai. And if I do, then that's double enchantment we can play off of themselves as a splash with just 1 planes in the deck. So I'm going to take the Splash Cove here. Now here is the samurai. There's also another enchantment in Clawing Torment and a Network Disruptor. I think I want to secure my second samurai. I think that's going to be what's going to make this deck a little bit more consistent over a Network Disruptor or a second Torment. So let's take the samurai here. Now we've got another Kami. Kami number 4. So basically this is the Kami of Terrible Secrets deck. 7 and 7. Pretty good. So I think we're definitely going to take the 4th Kami here. And then now we've got Moonfolk Puzzle Maker, which is an artifact, and it's a card we can play in this deck. Network Disruptor, Guardians of Oboro. I guess we'll take the Disruptor here. We have... This card allows us to have ninjutsu on other creatures if we want it to. So we'll take the Disruptor. Thirst for Knowledge is potentially main deckable for us, but we'll have to see. I don't think we need Inkrise Infiltrator or any of these other cards. Armguard Familiar did come back, so that's good. Another cheap artifact. Don't think we need Unforgiving one. Don't think we need Walking Skyscraper. Probably not going to play a second Steward, but we'll have to see about that. None of these cards are for us. All right, so we got 26 playables here. Got to cut 3. We have 7 enchantments, 9 artifacts, so we can afford to cut an artifact-ish if we wanted to. Probably the second Shrine Steward. And then don't know how much Thirst for Knowledge is doing for us in this deck. We've got a lot of card draw and value already with quadruple Kami. Another Thirst for Knowledge or a Raito Sentinel? Is a 3-mana 3/3 Defender artifact good enough? I doubt it, but I'll put it into the deck. I'll just uncommon draft here because none of these cards are making it. So I don't think we want Thirst for Knowledge in this deck, which seems weird, but I don't think we do. Shrine Steward can find Tamiyo's Completion, and it can find Clawing Torment. So I think that's good enough. There's another Suit Up. That might be playable. We do have 19 creatures, so Suit Up is pretty good in this deck. Let's see how we want to finish out this deck build. We've got 43 cards with 3 cuts here. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 lands. Definitely don't need 3. Only need 1 because we have 2 ways to search it up to splash the other one if we want to. And then we need at least 1 more black. Probably 2 more black for Invoke the Despair. That leaves us with 7 blue. We have 9 artifacts, 7 enchantments, so we can't really afford to cut an enchantment, but we can cut probably the Raito Sentinel. And then let's see what else. I like everything else. Is it too greedy to play Invoke the Despair in a deck like this? I mean, it's possible. We probably want at least 10 black sources for this. And if we went up to 10, we would only be down to 7 blue sources, which I don't think is enough. So what cards are not artifacts or enchantments? The Kamis themselves, the Moonsnare Specialist, the Gravelighter, Double Suit Up, Invoke Despair, Satoru. I'd like to keep the Gravelighter and Satoru. Maybe we cut Specialist, which feels weird, but our deck is very much centered around these 4 Kami of Terrible Secrets. I think we have to keep both of these Samurais in, because if we cut them, our enchantment goes down. Our enchantment count goes down to 5, which is not good. So I think we cut a Specialist here, which is awkward. And then as an artifact, we're at 8. We could cut Shrine Steward as a 5-drop. We could also cut a land, but I don't think I want to do that. We could cut Shrine Steward as it only finds Clawing Torment and Tamiyo's Completion here. It is an artifact, but it's a 5-drop artifact, so it's not as important for Kami. I think I'm actually just going to cut the Steward here and then try to run it back like this and see. Yeah, that leaves our count at 7 artifacts, 7 enchantments, which is a good number for both 16 creatures with Double Suit Up, Invoke Despair if we can kind of spike some black sources here, Double Splash with Samurai with 4 white sources in the deck, and then a bunch of artifacts and enchantments and kind of ways to grind with Kami. Seems like a decent-ish blue-black deck. Awesome. So in order to find the gameplay version of today's video, remember what we're doing for the last couple weeks here of the Neon Dynasty format. We're going to go ahead and split these videos up into 2. So in the top right corner right now, you can find the card to find today's gameplay video. or it's in the description. It's also on your subscription feed. I mean, there's multiple ways you can go ahead and find the gameplay version of this video. Thanks so much for watching this one, and then I will see you over on the gameplay video to see how this deck does. See you there.